Ready. Play.
Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Nostradamus is back for the last time in 2023 to analyze each match at a Grand Slam. Here we are to look at the women's side of the draw, the singles, of course, and beginning with Iga Swiatek at the top of the draw, the reigning champion and current world number one. If she is to retain that number one status, she needs to at least equal the result of Arena Sabalenka. Who will be the world number one, therefore, at the end of the tournament? Let's see. Let's get to it. Iga versus the Rebecca Pettersson of Sweden. I think Iga wins that one pretty comfortably. Marie Norris on home territory up against Daria Saville. Let's go with Saville to win that one. And we'll go for Lauren Davis on home territory to knock out Kovinic. Let's go for Cocciaretto over Juvan. Let's go with, this one's a really tricky one to call, Ostapenko against Paolini, but we'll go for Ostapenko despite the recent good form of the Italian. Elise Cornet up against Alina Avanesian. I'm going to go for friend of the show, Avanesian, to prevail. Let's go with Wong over Grabert. Let's go for Kudermetova over the American Bernarda Pera. Kvitova to knock out Buxa. Oh, the wild card Wozniacki. Yes, she will win at least one match at this year's tournament. Jennifer Brady, so good to see her back. With protected ranking, and I see her prevailing there over the Australian Birrell. Let's go for Magdalinette. Of course, she had a really good run at the first major of the year in Australia. Let's have her prevailing over Sasnovich. And we will go for Elise Mertens over Bjorkland. This one's a tough one, I think, to call Fruhvirtova or Collins. I will go for Collins, a former Australian Open finalist, of course. Let's go for Mira Andreeva, arguably the sensation of the year, to knock out the Australian Gadetsky. Another friend of the show, Laura Siegman. Great to see her qualifying, but a really tough first round for her against Coco Gauff. And we'll go with Rybakina over Kostyuk. But I do see this one going 3 sets, and I did see Vanch predicting an upset in this particular encounter. Let's go for Tomljanovic. We all remember the heroics that she pulled off last year over Udvardi. She may well repeat those heroics over Udvardi. Let's go for Siniakova over Kalinskaya. Chastea over Kayla Day. Victoria Azarenka, of course, up against Ferro. I say, of course, a former Grand Slam winner. Let's have her progressing. Let's go for Maya Sharif over Lin Zhu. And let's go for Miyazaki over Gasparian. And we will go with Bencic over Rakimov, although I know one or two people are predicting an early exit for the Swiss. Karolina Mukova, I expect her to be the wildcard Storm Hunter. And we will go with Emma Navarro over Fresh. And let's go for Gracheva over Townsend. This is a tough one. Haddad Meyer or Stevens? Haddad Meyer or Stevens? Stevens or Haddad Meyer? Let's go Haddad Meyer. Sorry, Sloane Stevens. Let's go with Kalinina over Sorribos Tomo, Owen's favorite player. And let's go with Volniets over Wong. Let's go with Schmidlova over Kozlova. And we will have Maria Sakkari progressing to the second round. Of course, Maria Sakkari, a former US Open semi-finalist, but she lost to Raducanu 2 years ago. Feels like a long time ago in terms of that kind of form. We haven't really seen that level from Sakkari for a couple of years, I would argue. Upset alert for Caroline Garcia, but I will have her progressing at the expense of the qualifier Wong. Let's go with Katie Bolter over Deanne Parry, the big serving Brit to emerge the winner there. We'll go with Peyton Stearns to knock out Tomova. And Potapova or Clara Towson. Really tough one to call this, but I will go for the seed on this occasion. Let's go for Leila Fernandez over Alexandrova. Would that be an upset? At least in terms of ranking, it would be. Of course, Leila Fernandez, a former US Open finalist. Let's go for Surenko to knock out Jacquemot. Let's go with Trevisan over Putin-Sava. Vondrousova, the Wimbledon champion, of course. Let's have her going through. She's had a pretty good, solid run since winning Wimbledon. Let's have Samsonova over Claire Liu. We'll go for Korpach over the Romanian Begu. Let's go with Whitmire over Svonareva. And Madison Keys over Rus. Svitolina. And let's go with Pavlyuchenkova to make it through to the second round. Rebecca Marino too. Pegula, interesting first round for her up against Camila Giorgi, but I do expect the American to prevail. On Jabeur, a lot of people talking about her tough draw that she's got. Well, she's got the Colombian Osorio Serrano. I'm going to go with Jabeur in that particular encounter. Let's go for Noskova over Brendel. Let's go with Petra Martic over Tatiana Maria, slicing and dicing her way. But I do expect her to slice and dice her way out of the tournament at the first round. Let's go with Buskova over Krug. Let's go with Qinwen Zheng over Podoroska. That's a tricky one to call. Let's go with Kai Kanepi. Of course, she had match points last year against Sabalenka in an early round. Sabalenka prevailed, though, and of course went on to get to the semi-finals. Let's go with Lisa over Montgomery. Krejcikova, when is she going to start to show the form that she's threatened to do at the beginning of the year? That win in Dubai feels like a long, long time ago. Let's go with Kasatkina over Parks, but that is a really close one, I would suggest. Let's go with Sofia Kenin over Bogdan, and let's go with Venus Williams over Grit Minen. Let's go with Donna Vekic over the American qualifier Vickery. Let's have Pliskova knocking out Rus. And we'll go with Clara Burel. We will go with, nice to see Jodie Burrage qualifying or in the first round proper. And let's go with Anna Blinkova. And we will have Arina Sabalenka too. Back to the top of the draw, ladies and gentlemen. And who's up next? For Iga Swiatek. She's up against Daria Saville. I will go for Swiatek to win that with consummate ease. Let's go for Lauren Davies also to get to the round 3. Let's go with Avanesian to back up her Berlin form. Of course, friend of the show, we interviewed her there. Let's go with Kudermetova over Wong, and let's go with Kvitova over Wozniacki. Let's go for Jen Brady over Magdalene Net, and let's go for Daniel Collins over Mertens. How far will Daniel Collins get? Let me know in the comments section below. Oh, wow. Mira Andreeva up against Coco Gauff. Let's go with Coco Gauff to emerge the winner there. Let's go with Rybakina over Tomljanovic, but it's a really tough draw for Rybakina, I would suggest, for those first 2 rounds. Let's go with Chestea over Siniakova. Let's go with Azarenka to knock out Maya Sharif. Belinda Bencic, she loves it in New York. Let's see her into the 3rd round. Mukova over Navarro. Haddad Maya over Grajkova. Let's go with Kalanina over Volniets. Sakari to get to the 3rd round as well. Let's go with Garcia as well in the 3rd round, but it's not been a great year for the French woman. Stearns to knock out Potapova. Leila Fernandez to get to the 3rd round, knocking out Surenko. Let's go with Vondrousova, knocking out Trevisan. Let's go with Samsonova. Of course, she got to a final recently, beating Korpach. Let's go with Madison Keys to knock out Whitmire. And we will have Svitolina knocking out Pavlyuchenkova. Pegula to beat Marino. Jabeur to knock out Noskova. Buskova to knock out Petra Martic. Qinwen Zheng to emerge the winner over Kai Kanepi. Krejcikova to get to round 3 as well at the expense of Lise. Let's go with Sofia Kenin to upset Kasatkina in the 2nd round. Vekic will beat Venus Williams. Pliskova will overcome Burel, and Sabalenka will beat Blinkova. Blink, and you might just miss it. So let's keep up at the back, ladies and gentlemen, as we return to the top of the draw. And now we have Iga Swiatek up against Davis. Swiatek to knock her out. Avanesian against Kudermetova. Let's go for Avanesian. into the fourth round. Ladies and gentlemen, what am I doing? Who knows? Let's go with Kvitova entering the brave run of Brady. Brave Brady. Oh, Collins against Gauff. That'll be an exciting third round match. But I will go with Gauff, who is in incredible form right now. The form of her life, I would argue. Okay, next up, we have Rybakina, Chastea. Rybakina to win that one. Probably the easiest match she's had of the tournament so far. Azarenka against Bencic. Let's go for Azarenka to emerge the winner there. A pretty meaty looking third and fourth round coming up, I feel. Mukova to knock out Haddad Maya, but that's a close call. Kalinina Sakari. Let's go for Sakari to knock out Kalinina. Not a bad draw for Maria, I would suggest. Let's go with Garcia over Stearns. I think Garcia's draw is pretty kind. A trickier draw, and I may have had her going out earlier. Leylah Fernandez over Vondrousova. Let's go with Leylah Fernandez there. I don't think she'll get overpowered by Vondi like she does by some other players. Talking of overpowering, Samsonova or Madison Keys. Samsonova, my friends. Ooh. Svitolina, Pegula. Let's go with Pegula there. Solid Pegula. We can always rely on her to go deep into the second week of a Grand Slam. Let's go for Ons Jabeur over Buskova, but that is a tricky match, I would suggest, for the Tunisian. That could well go three. Let's go with Krejcikova over Kim Wen-Jeng, but again, that's a close one. Kenin or Vekic? Kenin or Vekic? Vekic or Kenin? Kenin. Pliskova against Sabalenka. I'm going with Sabalenka, of course, with that one. I think they met each other in the quarterfinals last year, and this time they're meeting a bit earlier, which is giving you an example of maybe Pliskova's gradual fall from the upper echelons of tennis. Oakley dokley, we are now up towards the top of the draw, and we've got Swiatek up against friend of the show, Avanesian, and the wonderful run from Avanesian does come to an end, I suggest, at the hands of the world number one. Kvitova up against Coco Gauff. Gauff wins that one, definitely. She reproduces even a smidgen of the form she's shown in the last few weeks. I have her easily getting to the quarterfinals. Rybakina or Azarenka? Rybakina wins that one for me. Did they play in Australia earlier this year? Semi-finals? I think so. Pretty sure they did. Rybakina won that one, and I expect her to repeat the trick in New York. Mukova or Sakari? Mukova or Sakari? They played each other at the French Open this year. First round, Mukova won that one. I expect her to also repeat the trick in New York. Sip of water. Here was another repeat that we had from earlier this year as well. I think we had Garcia up against Fernandez in Australia, maybe in the second round. This time, I'm going to have Leylah exacting revenge over the Frenchwoman. Samsonova or Pegula, we'll go with Pegula there, getting to her customary quarterfinal berth. And we will go with Jabeur over Krejcikova, but that is a close one, very close. Kenin or Sabalenka? Sabalenka wins that one and gaining revenge for her loss in Rome. We are now at the quarterfinal stage, and we have the clash of the titans between Swiatek and Coco Gauff. Coco Gauff or Swiatek? I see Swiatek emerging the winner just in this one, probably in 3 sets. Also gaining revenge for her recent loss to the American. Gauff is getting better and better and better, and I see another Grand Slam final for her very soon. Maybe in New York if she manages to skittle Swiatek, but I'm going to go with the pole. Just. Rybakina or Mukova? I'm going Rybakina. And let's go with Pegula over Fernandez. Finally, Pegula into a semi-final of a Grand Slam. And we'll go with Sabalenka getting revenge for her loss to Ons Jabeur at Wimbledon. And so she is also into the semi-finals. In the first semi-final, wow, these are meaty contests, meatier than your local butcher. The first slaughter fest will be Swiatek against Rybakina. They played, of course, I think in Indian Wells this year and in Australia, with Rybakina winning both of those. This time, Swiatek will win, and she will be in another US Open final. Pegula against Sabalenka. It's got to be Sabadabadoo. It's got to be Sabadabadoo, ladies and gentlemen. And in the final, we will have Sabalenka up against Iga Swiatek in a battle not just for the US Open, but a battle to become world number one. And I see Sabalenka winning the US Open, and not only winning the US Open, but also winning the world number one. Let me know in the comments section below whether you agree with my prediction of Aryna Sabalenka winning this year's Women's US Open title. Agree or disagree? Maybe you think I'm crazy for having Avanesian in the fourth round. Maybe you think I'm crazy for putting Pegula into her first ever Grand Slam semi-final. Or maybe you think she's going to win it. Or you think Coco Gauff is going to knock out Iga Swiatek. All of those thoughts, I want to hear them, or at least read them in the comments section below. And don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Although I don't know why I'm saying that, because I'm going to just repeat it in this video right now. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.